This is 92T, my ultimate Iron Man. I spent thousands of hours playing the most autistic game mode in RuneScape, and now, after conquering the Chambers of Xeric, I have set my sights on the newest PvM challenge from Varlamore, the Fortis Colosseum. So, UIMs are not able to use banks, we know this, but they can all use the dead storages that exist in the game. When I was stuck at Chambers of Xeric, all my items were here at Espori. Since Cox is a safe death, even if I had died there, which never happens, I don't die, my items would be completely safe. The Colosseum, on the other hand, is considered a dangerous activity, so if I happen to die there while having items stored, I wipe. To prevent this from happening, we're going to be relying on one of the most iconic Ultimate Iron Man items, the looting bag, and we're going to be storing 28 essential items. Unfortunately, in case you can't tell, we got a lot more than 28. So I guess we got some cleaning to do first. Meaning that I'm going to have to use all the seeds, all the herbs, all the ores, everything we have stored, until I have enough free space for us to attempt the Colosseum. The first thing I need is to gather secondaries for the herbs. If I process the herbs into pots, I essentially gain one space for each type of herb I have, as I already have a stack of the pots. Most secondaries are simple enough to get, as you are able to either farm them or obtain them easily in large quantities. However, some, like bird nests and wines of Zamorak, have additional constraints that make them a pain in the ass to store. Bird nests specifically, I'd used on Saradum in brews, and my best method of getting them is by killing the giant mole. Birdhouses are not viable options, as I plan to do secondary runs whenever possible. Trying to manage space for herb runs, birdhouses, and mole in a single inventory would just be too awkward. This means that I'm going to have to slay a lot of mole. About 3.2 thousand of these cuties, just to go through all the toad flags I have stored. It will definitely take a while, but with the power of editing, it will just be a few seconds. See you soon.
One eternity later.
6455 KC. Whew. I think that's a lot. Let's go and price check this. 82 million. Wow. Imagine drinking all that. Get it? Because it's going to become brews? No? Well, whatever, let's just make the pots. You know what time it is? Time to die. Small problem. We are kind of broke. We don't even have money to pay for the unfinished potions. I actually checked all storages, we are cleaned. I guess we're going to have to use the rune and Adi we have stored. I was kinda saving that for later, but later became now. Why does his armor look so much like Inquisitor? Did you know that in the Blast Furnace other players cannot see your items? I'm serious, if you drop an item, it will disappear after 3 minutes. If you use the table near the hammer, it will stay there for 10. Nobody will see them, but they can still despawn, so keep an eye on the timer. This is actually useful if you need some inventory spaces for a short period of time. And that's today's piece of UIM trivia. Hope you enjoyed! We used all the ores and the onyx tips we had lying around in the dead storage, and now we got this beautiful stack of coins. 28 million, not bad. It's certainly more than enough to make the unfinished potions, even though that is like 5 million, so it's actually a lot. But more important is that we got 3 new looting bag spaces, and that's what really matters in the end. Speaking of space, I have some pure essence and blood essence in the dead storage, and I figured I should take care of these before I start my herb ore grind, because it shouldn't take too much time, and yes, the faster I clear the bag the better. And I am more than aware that I keep postponing this, but trust me, I'll get to make these potions eventually. We are ready to start. The method we'll be using is True Blood Altar Rune Crafting, the fastest way to get blood runes even without using a blood essence. We have the robes from the Guardians of the Rift minigame, we have our blood essence, we have our colossal pouch. We're able to get about 9k blood runes an hour and use about 2 blood essences an hour too. I gain about 45k XP per hour, which is actually decent for UIMs. The blood runes can be used for barrage, sanguinesi stuff, or as an emergency cache, so all around it's a very good item to keep in the looting bag. Plus, I already have blood runes stored inside, so it's not like it's taking an extra space. It's done! 140k blood runes.
Nice.
Plus 2 extra backspaces, which is even nicer. Just drop in the colossal pouch and the extra pure essence, and let's go make those potions. This is Bob. Bob decants our potions into nodes. Long past are the days where you needed to make your own potions on the spot if you wanted to do some PVM. Can you imagine having secondaries with you all the time? This is so much easier. Call me an easy escapist, but I feel like this was so much better for the longevity of the game mode. Anyway, I digress. I am here making some brews using the empty ring and seed nests, and the first two aside, using seed nests requires some inventory management. Personally, I chose to make 8 potions per inventory while keeping most seeds from them to use after. I lose some XP per hour, but the trade-off is more farming experience. And who can say no to some juicy farming experience? Almost done. We made about 10,000 brews, which I'm sure will be useful for when we eventually decide to grind out the full Torva. We also got plenty of seeds, which I'm sure I should drop a few, but I'm gonna use them all. I severely underestimated how long this would take. During all the farming, I also gathered some secondaries I was missing and made the unfinished potions, and we got quite the impressive stack. I did skip making the dwarf weeds because I already have plenty of ranging potions, and honestly, I CBA going to the wilderness for 20 plus hours. I guess I'll leave that task for the 92T of the future. The task for my present self is to use all this, so let's get moving. Super combats are really awkward to make. You can only make 5 at a time. You need these vegetable sacks filled with potatoes and cabbages in order to limit the amount of potions you're able to withdraw, and it's also very quick intensive. This is easily the most annoying potion I make. "22 million airborne experience, and I apologize if I sound a bit tired. I've been doing this for a few hours, and we only have 300 potions to go, so let's go finish this up." All the potions are done, and we managed to get 7 looting bag spaces. I still have some items I want to get rid of, like some planks I have at the dead storage, that we could use for mahogany homes. But we can do that later, because we already have enough space in the looting bag for us to attempt the Colosseum, so we are finally getting started. Let's go to Varlamore. Welcome to the Fortis Colosseum. I've never been here on this account or in any other, but I've been reading and I think we need to get some glory to unlock the bank and the teleport here, and I think that's gonna be our first priority, so let's work towards that while we get a feel for this. And yes, those are magic saplings on my inventory. I have a good idea of the modifiers I should pick, but I haven't tried any of them, so yeah. Also still setting up the tile markers and the colors for the mobs, because I don't know what some of them do. I know this one is the ranger and that it throws a javelin at you sometimes, but yeah, my knowledge of this place is still very limited. What I've seen around on YouTube and Twitch, it's always about the boss. It's usually not the waves. The waves I kind of skip them. So I'm gonna be learning as I go. I have some friends on Discord that will be giving me pointers, which I think will help a lot. One of the most dangerous NPCs, everyone. Onion Man. Here you have one of my favorites, the Manticore, and at the same time is one of the ones I hate the most. It's, I don't know, there's something about flicking the 3 prayers that it's like super soothing, but I guess if you fail, you're dead? No pressure though. This is now my current PB, wave 5, and I'll be stopping here because I'm checking here my glory, and I have enough glory for the bank, which means that I'll be able to go right back in much faster. So let's claim this, take the Sunfire Splinters, and go back in. Boom, bank access on the UIM. Ironic, I know. I still don't know how to deal with certain spawns, and I don't have the greatest muscle memory to deal with the Fremenix still, so I end up a lot of times making things harder for me, because I don't deal with the spawns fast enough. In this particular case, I didn't know what to do, and it turns out that I'm going to take a full-on Onion Man spec and not die on full Ancestral. I tried to flick the Manticore, but the Mage is on a different tick, so I decided to go back to the Onion Man, and these two are on the same tick too. So I tried to walk under the Onion Man and see if he goes back to a different tick, and it does, but it was taking forever. And the wave is solved, and I somehow survived, but this is what we have in store for the Colosseum, and I don't have enough experience, so I'm definitely going to be dying a lot until I understand the waves much better. Speaking of dying, here's my first death, and with it, the pain in the ass that is coming back here with all my items. Need to grab the 20 items that were in the looting bag, then I need to use the Ferox Enclave teleport, put everything on the looting bag, and then I need to somehow come back here without the teleport, and without having a direct teleport to my house. Sometimes I like to pretend I know how to play the game and try to flick the minions that are on the same tick. On this particular case they are both starting with ranged, so it should be entirely possible, and it's not even that hard, but the problem is this javelin throws me off so bad, and I essentially die because of it. Why am I trolling? What am I doing? Why am I making this so hard for myself? New PB, wave 7. I'm super scared of the Manticore when he spawns on the right side, and on this clip I should have just stayed south dealing with the Fremnix while flicking the Manticore, but because my IQ is the same as a shoe, I make all the wrong decisions. Even worse, I still don't have enough glory for the teleport. Sometimes you get some easy waves, and these happen when the mobs decide to spawn east of you and get stuck in the pillar, and as such they cannot attack you, and the only thing you need to deal with under pressure is the Fremenix, and after that you only need to kill the Minotaur or the Onion Man depending on the wave, and the rest of the wave is already solved. They are stuck behind the pillar, you have plenty of time to think of a solution, so with good enough RNG you are able to do the entire Colosseum like that. Obviously you cannot rely on this happening all the time, but it's pretty nice when it happens. Ah, that's so weird. What the hell? Didn't mention this before, but I am using Ancestral with the 2 mechans as a main DPS to one-shot the melee Fremnik, and for healing since I don't have an SKS or Blood Fury. I bring a Bulwark for tanking when running the pillars and to one-shot the ranged Fremnik. I do have a Fang, but Tentacle Whip would be better, however because of the Fang kit, my Fang is essentially untradeable, so I cannot put it on the looting bag. So I just took the L and decided to do the Colosseum like this. Just reached wave 11 and we got a pretty good spawn. We just need to kill the Fremnix and the Minotaur and it's essentially done. We do need to do some thinking to solve this, but I'm sure we can do this. First time on wave 12 and it's a one-on-one versus Soul Erudite and it's my first time on the boss. I have a good understanding of its mechanics, or at least I hope so, but I'm not really hoping to beat it first try. Still, let's see what we can do. Even though it was not the best try in the world, at the very least now we have the teleport, which should help speed up our retries. Of course I'm venomed. No. Of course. Another try at the boss, my second try. I feel like I'm getting a lot better at the waves, but I'm still getting carried by my own luck. Let's see if we can do this time. Oh my god, I had the laser right there. Okay. Spear 2. Dodge. Spear 1. Lasers. Spear 2. Oh. Oh. Wait. Okay. Oh. Fuck. There's no way. Managed to squeeze a few looting bag slots and put my stack of potions inside, so we get 3 new inventory slots. Now we got this, for sure. You know, maybe I'm just not built for this. Third try, we have the supplies, we have the mindset, let's send it. Volatile, volatile. Do I survive this? Think so? Whew. Very good, very good. I'm proud of myself. Yes! Now give me the collection log. I want to see it pop up. There it is. We got it. Ah. I'm sure this is gonna be a pain in the ass to charge though. We actually managed to beat the Fortis Colosseum and got the quiver. With it, we are able to store 2 different ammunitions here, and as a new UIM, I am all for this. The next step is to charge it with 150k Sunfire splinters, so we can store it at the POH. This will take a bit of time, but hopefully I will be getting better at the Colosseum, which in turn will increase my splinters per hour. Worst case scenario, I just farm wave 1 for like 60 hours and I'll eventually get all the splinters. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I had a lot of fun learning the Colosseum and I am glad I was able to share it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!